welcome to American Baker in Germany. I'm Michelle, and today I have a lovely cake for you for a little boy who is turning 4, and he is into pirates. So we are making a pirate ship cake today. Very excited about this, so let's get started.
I had baked 2 rectangular layers of vegan chocolate cake. This is 8 by 4 inches. I started out by cutting one end into a triangle. Then I did the same thing for the second layer. I then cut about a quarter out of the middle of the top layer and stacked it onto the back. Then I filled and frosted it with chocolate buttercream left over from another project. I frosted the cake with a small offset spatula. I cleaned up my cake base with a damp rag and chilled the cake for half an hour in the fridge to let the buttercream set up. Then I covered the cake in panels with chocolate fondant. I started on the back. When paneling a cake, it is most helpful to have the panels be just larger than you need it to be. Measure carefully. Then I cut off the overhang with a sharp knife. Then I cut out a triangle of fondant and covered the bow of the ship. This is called the bow, isn't it? Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I covered the steps of the ship with strips. If you like what we do here, consider subscribing for a new cake video every week. We also make regular bonus videos with recipes and tutorials. I sometimes had to fill in gaps with thinner strips. Then I rolled out a longer strip of chocolate fondant to cover the sides. It had to be tall enough to cover the entire side. Then trim the side to the right size wherever it overhangs. I used the ruler to press horizontal lines into the chocolate fondant to make it look like slats. I first used a 3-pronged tool to scratch a bit of texture into it. Then I used a straight tool to deepen the original lines and give it a few vertical lines in random places. Then I used a Dresden tool to scratch lines into the slats to give it a wood grain. I must say it worked pretty well. Then I rolled a log of fondant and cut it into even 1.5 centimeter lengths. Then I glued them standing up onto the ship, and I laid a flat strip of fondant onto the logs. Then I made the same kind of rail onto the back of the ship. Next, I made the steering wheel. I pressed an impression of the back of a large piping tip into brown fondant. I cut a larger circle around it. I cut out notches to create the handholds. Then I cut out triangles in the middle of the circle pointing towards the center. I thought it looked exactly like an old-fashioned ship's wheel. I glued it into the center of the ship. Then I rolled out some gray fondant. I used the back of a piping tip to make a circular impression and free-handed the general form of an anchor. And glued it onto the side of the cake. I also cut out some small round circles and glued them onto each side. Finally, I made the sails. I debated a long time about making them edible, but that would be really difficult. In the end, I decided no one would eat them anyway. I made them out of paper. I printed out the Jolly Roger. The other sails were part of a cake decorating set that was pirate-themed. I strung them onto lollipop sticks and stuck them into the cake. I love how this cake turned out. It could have been more complex and detailed, but it was just what the 4-year-old was hoping for. It was a lot of fun to make. Makes me think of Pirates of the Caribbean. Arrgh! Happy birthday, Theo. For more cakes and tutorials for children and adults, visit our website at AmericanBakerInGermany.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe below and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our new videos.